Hey y'all, it's your girl Queen at Twinette, and I'm here with another video. And I want to talk about having Pluto in my second house for I don't know how many years, but it's been a long time. I remember when he first entered my second house, I was babysitting and I kind of had another job offer taking care of my grandmother. And that cycle lasted for about 4 years, and then she passed away. Now, Pluto is the planet of death, life, taxes, rebirth, sex. So, all those areas in life, Pluto is affecting me and in my income. So, I got a job as soon as he moved into my second house. I got a job taking care of my grandmother, and about 4, almost 5 years later, she passed away. So my job died, like literally, it died on me. My grandma died, my job died, didn't know what to do. I went through a really rough time with that, but eventually I got another job doing the same thing in the field of caregiving, and it was a lot better. So he pretty much tore down the job that wasn't working, that was pretty much dying anyway. He took it, because that's what Pluto does. He tears down everything that's not working in your life, and he makes it new and better for you if it doesn't look right. It's like an apple tree. He's gonna shake that apple tree and test that apple tree, and if he finds that the apples aren't sturdy, and then he's gonna get rid of the whole tree. So that's how he works, and that's what he did. And so here I am in another 4, almost 5 year cycle doing the same thing. Then all of a sudden my job goes out of business, so that's another death of my job. And here I am again. The only difference is this time I got Saturn and Pluto working with me in the second house. So Saturn, he made me think more about my finances, and he helped me save. He taught me about money. He taught me how to open up different bank accounts and to trade stocks. Like, Saturn really helped me so that when my job went out of business, I wasn't struggling like I was the first time when I was out of a job. So now here I am, still in this Pluto cycle in my second house, and trying to figure out what I'm supposed to do next. He did replace it. He always replaces it with something better. He did replace it with another company and another job that's way more structured. And I'm just having a hard time accepting that, because it was like a death. A lot of my clients, I don't get to see anymore. The people I worked with for years, I'm not around them anymore. There are some people from my previous job at this new employer, but it's not the same. It's not the same at all. And it kind of hurts. It's like, mourning a death. And, it's sometimes Pluto is the ruler of life and death, so sometimes something that's dead will come back to life, but in this case, it's not happening. But he did take everything that I didn't like about that job, he took it away, and this new company, he made it more structured, made it more something that I would like, and it's not as bad, because I did go through a lot with that company. I fought hard to stay with that company. I had my job threatened numerous times with the company. I even did get fired at one point with the company, but they brought me back, because again, there's that life and death type of thing. So, but I had Saturn there helping me, supporting me, keeping me structured, keeping me going, until all of a sudden, like a death, it just happens suddenly, unexpectedly, out of nowhere. It comes and it just takes over, and there's nothing you can really do. So that's my experience with Pluto in my second house. And now I have Pluto and Saturn in my second house. And let me tell you, when they go retrograde, when Pluto, Saturn, and Uranus goes retrograde, that's how I know. I know for a matter of a fact. That's when those three planets, the same day those three planets went retrograde, my grandmother died. And then it happened again 4 or 5 years later. I'm like, okay, all these major planets are about to retrograde. The last time that happened, I lost my job. So I was prepared for it this time. There's ways you can prepare for these transits. There's crystals you can have, like obsidian, and is always helpful, especially because Saturn, has a lot to do with the obsidian stone. But I don't know what else to say about it. But yeah, all those planets went retrograde, and that was my ass. And that was a lot of people's asses because a lot of people didn't have a job. But there was a backup plan. See, Pluto never takes something away without replacing it with something better. So there was a plan B, and some people went with the company, some people didn't go with the company. And right now I'm kind of skeptical about it because it's the same cycle. It's the same thing happening. Like, I lose a job, get a job, lose a job, get a job, and then I already know what to expect because Pluto rules death and life and taxes and sex. And also in that transit, I was a webcam model. So, and that really helped me financially a lot, seeing that Pluto rules sex. But it's not really as fulfilling, when you're doing it and you have kids that are going to be grow up, and you don't want people saying hey, your mom was on the webcam. So that was a no-go for me, and it just didn't feel right. People asking me to, crazy ass shit like, let me see your armpit, or let me see your feet, dangle your feet in front of the camera type, bust it open, spread it open wide type stuff. I ain't got time for that. So that, yeah. But Pluto, it has been a tough journey for me having him in my second house for so many years. But there's hope. You ain't gonna be broke if you work hard and do what you gotta do. There's ways to get around this transit, and it's not so bad. Just know that he rules life and death. Just know if something isn't working right, if it's not sturdy, if it's not structured, he's gonna rip it to shreds, shred the shit out of it, and that'll be the end of that. Like, but he always comes through with something better. So don't think because you have Pluto in your second house, or because you have Saturn in your second house, that you're doomed and you can't make money, because Pluto and Saturn will have you with a lot of money if you listen, and if you stay grounded and structured, they will give you the money. I mean, you just got to make sure you put in the work for it, and do what Saturn says so he don't get in your ass. Because if you don't do the disciplinary things you need to do to be where you're at, he's gonna get in your ass for it. So just be careful with Saturn, with whatever house he's in, because that's how he is. And with Pluto there, it's even more strict circumstances that you have to play by. And with Pluto in my second house, I find myself working overnight or during the nighttime for years. Like, I think I only worked during the day for like a couple months until I had my daughter, and then straight back to work. I was working overnight. Even with my grandmother, taking care of her, I would come in the evening. My mom would do the mornings. I would come in the evening, give her nighttime meds, put her in the bed, and, wash clothes or whatever. But it would be at night because Pluto is like the planet of darkness, nighttime. So yeah, I even had to see my grandmother die. I tried to give her life support, CPR, and that just really took a toll on me. So that's another thing that, I have to cope with. That's another lesson I have to deal with, dealing with Pluto in my second house. So I hope this video helped anybody that's dealing with Pluto in their second house, or dealing with Pluto and Saturn in their second house, or any other house, what to expect from it. I love y'all. Have a blessed day. Make sure you like, subscribe, share if you know this video can help somebody dealing with these major transits. And I hope you have a blessed day. This is your girl, Queen Antoinette. My nails ain't done. It's all good. All right, y'all.